And welcome back, everybody, to another voiceover, unfortunately. So, alright, let me see what I believe this is the Emmerich mission I did. Was it? Yes. Now, I do remember fully enjoying this little tidbit, although we didn't do anything major. I see this is why this has solidified my decision as Emmerich being my favorite character in the game, because we have some really deep, meaningful conversation in this one, which gives you an insight into his personality.
To these rites of remembrance. Excellent. Manfred found his way down. Very good, Manfred.
He sounds excited.
I like Manfred.
I thought we'd start the rites here. A tableau of the dead, commissioned 173 years ago. These lives were flickers against the ages, precious, fragile, and finite. Now they serve as a warning. Don't linger overlong in the gloom. Live with grace and fervor while you may.
Seems like a solid lesson.
No one's going to seize the day for you.
Just so. That one's livelier. Here. Who were you when you breathed above?
This body was a tailor's, a mother's. She laughed and taught and wove the robes kings wore when they were crowned.
Someone must realign her thoracic vertebrae. I hope the novices are inspecting the displays.
Why bother?
Seems pointless. No one here's expecting company. Are they?
Let's continue.
Now you see,
So, what now?
We light candles in remembrance of the dead.
now the whole reanimation
Would you
of
care to light the
skeletons
candle, Rook?
doesn't bother me. What upsets me is because you still remember Dragon Age being a dark,
Look at
gothic
this, the
fantasy.
last tomb of the
They could have done so
A
much
very
more with
influential
the
family in the
reanimation
Storm
of
Age.
dead
We
bodies.
broke the bones of dragons.
There's so much variations you
Posthumous
could have
motto.
done.
Their last heir met his match against a Highland Ravager.
Death by dragon. I'm surprised there was.
But
enough
instead
to
they
bury.
just choose to go the clean route and just skeletons only. It's
Do
a
you
bit
know, I
lazy
never
if you ask
expected
me.
that the door we found back in the Vault of the Beloved would lead here.
So the necropolis actually shuffles its rooms around.
From time to time. Very unlikely to happen while we're inside a chamber. Could you light the next candle? Aha! One of my favorite flowers! A variegated weeping widower.
You know your plants?
Oh, alchemy is my hobby. It's a break from teaching spirit calling and theoretical applied metaphysics.
Right. Just on the side.
This way, Rook.
I don't mind this graveyard being clean.
Right about the gardens being
I'm for it.
The necropolis has its dangers, but these places
It's-
are a refuge for the dead.
I was really thinking to myself, like, oh man, could make the
Excellent
graveyard a little
question.
scarier. But I was
We
like, you know
really
what?
should ta-
It's
He's
supposed to
having the
be this kind of ceremonial thing they're doing, so it's fine. Actually, I like it.
You'll need to light these candles as well. Open your hearts to the final day, companion of all the ages. You remarked earlier that keeping this place in order seems pointless, but there's meaning in how we tend the necropolis.
Just seems like a lot of ceremony.
The ceremony can be the point. The spirits gather. Only a few more candles. Follow me.
I won't lie.
Ah, look here.
Hold on. Let this play through. Hey?
Hi. Should I say hi?
It's curious about you. We're also enjoying the gardens, but we've one last ritual ahead. On your way, my friend.
Spirits really are your specialty.
I've always had a rapport with them. Even as a child, they were my companions.
After you started training here?
After I was orphaned.
Oh,
A collapsed building, swift deaths. After the funeral, the Watchers took me in.
Down here?
they thought the necropolis was the best place for an orphan.
Better to learn death dwells all about us than be deaf when it calls. Yet, I was terrified of everything when I arrived.
And you still joined the Watchers?
They're what saved me. Come, the next set of graves lies ahead.
Now, I don't know if you go down the whole romance path with Emmerich. If you would, but what would be really cool is
Please, light the next candles if you would.
if he allowed you to communicate with a dead loved one or somebody you lost or something like
much
that
to recommend
along
about
those
the rhythm of the
lines.
ceremony. It
That would be
eases our
very
worst hours.
interesting.
As a boy, the Watcher's rituals were exactly what I needed to steady my days with purpose.
And some death magic?
Well, every young mage needs a speciality. All this pageantry, this magnificent gloom and its rites, I ask you, Rook, what is it for?
It's gotta be the living, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. This place is an abundance of history, of magic, of memories. The Watchers preserve it so the living may draw comfort from those who've gone before. We must get to the candle, please, Manfred.
You told Harding that Manfred used to be a wisp until you gave him a body.
Yes, he's taken so well to it. Haven't you, Manfred? Here are the last candles you'll need to light. Once you're ready, we'll need to ring the bell. Let the rites be acknowledged. Our bonds seen and sealed. We honor the listening spirits.
Hail from the abyss.
We witness, good watcher, faith kept in all our paths.
What was...
The necropolis hosts many spirits. We thank these guardians for their protection and friendship.
Yeah,
We'll
sure.
need to
No, I
ring the
see.
bell
There's another
once more
thing
to
why I
close out
say
the
it's
departing
lazy.
ceremony.
They look like the same monster enemies or spirit enemies we fight, just a different color. There's just so much they could have done.
So you were really afraid of this place as a child?
It wasn't the necropolis itself, but what was draped around it. Have you ever been frightened by the thought of dying, Rook?
I don't like to think about it. That's what I think I chose. Yeah, I was thinking as a pirate, it's like, you don't really fear death. I mean, you're not really afraid of dying, but at the same time, the thought is there.
Try not to think much about the big end.
It wasn't a choice for me when I was younger. That's when I discovered I possess a great terror of dying.
And I could relate to that.
Beyond dread. Can't be reasoned with or soothed over. It comes without warning. In the dead of night, sunlit streets, a raw, strangling fear struck somewhere deep past the heart.
That's an issue for a necromancer.
Oddly, I discovered I wasn't alone. I debated this fear with friends. I argued with teachers. Yet, it lingered.
And that
Manfred's right.
That is
That's
good
more
writing.
than enough. There are struggles, but a watcher should always find peace amongst the graves.
That was amazing writing.
And what sort of host would I be if we didn't end with some light refreshment?
Whoever did the dialogue for Emmerich should do the dialogue for everybody else. You felt the emotion there. That was beautiful.
Well, if Manfred's excited, how can I refuse? Cheers, Manfred.
With all my regards, but I don't want them to think me homesick.
Hi, Emmerich.
Rook, hello. Just composing a few letters. The other watchers have been most interested in our adventures.
Tell me about the necropolis.
What's the Grand Necropolis like?
Its majesty has stilled the tongues of kings and queens. It's a haven for spirits and the dead, a vast well of history, the duty and shelter of every watcher. We who serve it are pledged to an eternal vigil.
Vigil? Against who?
What do watchers, watch for?
Ah, there are stranger and more dangerous things than spirits in the Fade, Rook. The Watchers stand against them when their shadows rise.
Anything lately?
A few portents I cannot put down solely to the chaos of the elven gods, but nothing definitive. Perhaps only shivers in the void.
So, I've heard people call necromancers mortalitasi. What's the difference between them and the Mornwatch?
Oh, all Navaran necromancers are mortalitasi. The Watchers are a special order within them.
Very fancy.
We've certain privileges and attendant responsibilities.
What's the Mornwatch do?
Our first duty is safekeeping the Grand Necropolis and preparing the funerary dead. Another is stopping misuse of dark magic and necromancy.
Must keep you busy.
Not often, but on occasion.
I couldn't help overhearing the word homesick.
Oh, I'm fine. Completely absorbed in our venture. But if I were home, I'd be preparing for new students or requests to speak to the dead.
Everybody gets a little homesick sometimes.
You didn't stop teaching just to be with us, did you?
I'm long overdue for a sabbatical. Besides, do you know how many students the faculty wanted in my class next season? 10! How's one meant to tailor separate lessons for 10 pupils at a time? Honestly.
Corpse whispering requests?
Can people just ask you to show up for some corpse whispering?
Oh, nothing official. There are very few of us, but we help here and there. Questioning a victim of murder, clearing up disputed wills, and sometimes fetching back last words from a loved one.
You can get anything out of the dead and they just let you leave Navarra.
My gift has limitations. The dead only know what they did in life. What was clear under the sun is sometimes blurred when I revive them.
Makes sense.
Honestly, some conversations aren't worth the trouble. Death encourages obstinacy.
I'll see you around.
Good to chat. I'll let you get back to your letter.
Before you go, I wanted to thank you for your company in the Memorial Gardens. There's another ceremony I have to perform there. If you'd like to visit again. Not yet, but soon.
Anytime, bro. Sure, and I get missing home.
Sounds good. Sometimes I miss home too.
Rook, I'm not... well, perhaps a little.
You'll cheer up once we look at some graves? I bet.
The ceremony should be most centering. I'll let you know when it's time.
Hey, glad you stopped by. I was gonna grab drinks with the Lords of Fortune at the Hilt. You're a lord. You should come.
Sounds good.
Abundance.
I cannot say.
Who created you?
Looks like she got to work in a
I
little
cannot
bit.
say.
What can you say?
I
I
cannot,
cannot
say.
say.
Right. Deserve that.
Got the archive spirit working, I see.
Rook, you're here. And I did. Sort of. A little bit. It appears, but it won't tell me anything.
You simply ask the wrong questions. A common affliction of the weak-minded.
Also that. It's kind of mean.
You should remind that thing who's in charge.
That's an idea. Syrian learned a lot, taught me a lot about these archives. They have, well, not thoughts like us, but sort of pathways, I guess. They can only respond to specific questions worded in specific ways. So, if you're powerful, like almost God level powerful, how would you talk to someone you see as lesser?
Like a joke.
Given our examples, I'd be kind of a demanding jerk.
Right! So let's try that. Archive, tell me who built you.
One of the greatest of Elvenan. A steward of her glory. Truly, I was blessed to bathe in his warmth. Anaris built me, and to him I shall someday return.
You mean the Forgotten One?
I cannot say.
Good point. It came later.
What came later?
What do you mean by it came later?
Oh, I meant later after Elvenon fell. We didn't call them the Forgotten Ones till after that. They were the bad gods. Disease, pestilence, weren't supposed to speak their names. Not like the good gods, you know, Elgernon, Gillenane. But now we know the truth about the Evanurus. So we don't know for sure what the Forgotten Ones were, I mean. They used to say Solus was one, so best case scenario, like him. Worst case, well, you heard it talk.
Right. So this thing's dangerous if it belonged to one of them.
Could be, but still important and invaluable. Everything Anaris knew, this thing knows, and my people deserve to know. If I can get it to tell me.
Archive, tell me about the Dreadwolf.
An ideologue and a fool who will soon pay the price. When Anaris dispatches the Evanuris, he will spare a thought for Fenharel.
Archive, tell me about the Evanuris.
A group of cowards hiding behind their more powerful magic and superior numbers. Their jealousy of Anaris was palpable. Their war is unending, but Anaris will prevail.
Have fun with the condescending spirit.
I'll try. Could be worse, I guess.
Worse, like the wound of betrayal Lord Anaris suffered. Soon he will cast down the oppressors and take his rightful place.
What a shame I can't stay longer. Good luck.
Appreciate the support.
We should get fish next time we're in Minrathous.
You know, we have more comfortable rooms and basically infinite space, so why,
Why does the trained assassin prefer a quiet, unassuming spot with good choke points?
Guess you just answered that question.
Besides, I'm closer to the coffee.
It looks like our boy Hassan is feeling his oats. Or whatever griffins feel.
He's getting the hang of it. When he listens.
He seems to be able to handle himself so far.
You got lucky the Gloomhowler didn't tear you to pieces, boy. You wait for my command. We attack together. Then we can kill stuff like that.
At least he's learning.
The instincts kick in. Griffins see darkspawn and it's a fight to the death. Like wolves hunting deer. Just need to corral it.
Never be a deer. Good to know.
He'd probably leave them alone.
Probably.
You and I see a deer. Maybe he sees venison souffle. Every muscle in him, every talon, every feather, honed into a killing machine. Hassan's ancestors took on archdemons.
Like his name says, he's an arrow.
Half lion, half eagle, with the instincts of both, griffins will always be hunters.
Just like his daddy, Davrin.
I suppose we are our nature.
Not sure about that.
Most of my life I've hunted the darker things in the world. But caring for a griffin? What do I know about that? Yet here I am.
That's not so bad, is it?
Not the path I expected. Makes me wonder about Hassan, his brothers and sisters, still young, pure.
You're worried?
I'm responsible for the future of every griffin alive. I want it to be a good one. These animals live to fight, but I wonder if there's another path for them.
It's still early. Hassan's just a kid. Let him test the waters, see what shakes loose.
You mean like a parent?
Yep.
Parents. A scary word. I'm supposed to be his bodyguard.
What do you think you've been doing this whole time?
Trying to ignore it. If I get myself killed by a Hurlock, that's on me. If it's Hassan, I just don't want to mess it up.
I think that's where trust comes in. That Turlum idea you keep talking about. Trust Hassan to find his way. Don't force things.
He's headstrong.
Good thing you are too.
Right. Thanks for the chat.
Still not a fan of how they don't allow you to talk to your companions when you feel like
Any
it.
luck tracking down your mystery friend?
The Shaper didn't like me asking about Shaper Valta. Or harassing people with talk of dwarven magic.
Really digging my character's design though. I think I was mentioning how I remembered Volta from the first
Who
game.
cares what they say? That shouldn't stop you.
I don't have a choice. At least I know I'm not gonna find answers in Orzammar.
So, what now?
I was thinking, the voice said look to those closest to the stone. What if she never meant Orzammar?
Are you suggesting Kal Sharok?
Yes.
The lost capital of the dwarves, that Kal Sharok.
Exactly. Its people survived in isolation, apart from the rest of us. They re-emerged, some 20 years ago?
And you think they're closer to the stone?
Orzammar can't help. What have I got to lose?
Are you sure Orzammar isn't hiding something?
Pressing them for information would be tricky. I could anger someone important. If Kal Sharok doesn't turn out, I can go back to poking at Orzammar. But not before then.
You think it's wise to contact the Kal Sharok dwarves?
What do you mean?
I heard that they're different. Tainted, somehow. That when the Tig was abandoned to the Darkspawn, its people did things to survive.
I've heard the same. I hope you don't think we should avoid them because they're not like us.
No, they're still our people.
Of course not. They're our kin. And it's been thousands of years.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean we
How
can't
do we
be
get in
careful.
touch with these Kal Sharok dwarves?
Already working on it. You don't spend 10 years in the Inquisition without making contacts. I should have a meeting set up by the time we're ready to leave.
Alright, time to get this main mission rolling.
Everyone suit up. All hands for this one.
Still can't believe it.
Could have
They're
said all
attacking
hands on
Moisault.
deck, but
The Wardens are
whatever.
prepared for that.
The gods are going straight for the throne. Unless we cut theirs first.
Just get me close enough.
Make them pay.
Whatever you do, make them pay.
I always collect.
Who gets to tell the first warden we're dropping in?
I was hoping to skip that part.
They've got an alluvian in storage down in the vault. It was a gift from the Dalish.
Ours should go right to it. Probably. I think.
Let's get to it then. We sneak into Weishaupt nice and quiet. No one sees us. We look around for Antoine and Evka.
Was there a plan after that?
Take out a god. End this today.
Seems like a solid plan. No, not really, but hey, it's better than anything. I hear this voiceover is so awkward. I'm sorry.
This isn't the vault.
Oh, crap. They moved the alluvian.
I was surprised it didn't break.
Sorry, Catch up when you can.
Darkspawn outside.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Darkspawn in Weishaupt?
Just outside the door.
Stay out of sight.
Mila.
Sit tight, Mila. We'll be back.
This random little girl just hiding around. Yes, you do know I love to save a lot.
The Maker curse you! Clear him out! Don't let them near the girl!
They arrived so quickly.
They've got the guards at their back. Where are all the wardens?
Occupied the battle from the sound of it.
We're on our own.
I won't lie, this level was kind of fun. Still on the underdog difficulty, but I do remember having a lot of fun in this mission. But at the same time, I felt like they were throwing way too much enemies at you. What would have made it a lot more interesting is if you could see your companions fighting in the background. It's just the little things they could do to make it so much more interesting and so much more, make it more enjoyable. So yes, you could only control 2 companions besides yourself now. Fine. Actually, you can't control them, you could just choose what attacks to use. But hey, at least let me see my other companions in the group around fighting, since it's basically all of us on this mission.
Of them.
At least it wasn't ogre.
You know your Darkspawn.
My dad's a blacksmith for the Wardens.
Look, we're here to help. Do you know Antoine and Evka?
Probably in the war room. I can show you. Oh no! The door's blocked!
Is there another way?
A secret passage! Come on!
Damn.
That's
But
Commander Janus.
what can I say? That's pretty much it for this video. So thanks again for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video with another voiceover.